ค่ะ Hello everyone. We are the สาธิตเกษตร IP Model United Nations Club. I am Parinlada Victoria Wright, the club's Secretary General, also known as the President of the club. And today I'll be giving everyone an introduction to the MUN club that we do here in IP and what we actually do in actual conferences. So, what is MUN or Model United Nations? Model United Nations is a simulation within the actual United Nations where students, typically from middle school and high school, represent countries, historical, political figures in their respective committees. So, the opportunities that our club members have is when they first start out, they have the opportunity to become a delegate where they debate different topics and represent different countries in different committees. And as they advance throughout their career as a delegate, they can also choose to become a chair where they moderate committees and guide delegates through the MUN process. And in terms of committees, for MUN, we have both regular committees and special committees. Regular committees are where students typically represent countries, and special committees are where delegates can represent different historical figures, political figures, and it can even go to a certain extent in the committee press corps, where delegates can represent different news outlets and write articles about the things they observe in different committee rooms. And so far this year, this academic year, we have gone to 3 conferences outside of school in total, and we plan to go to 3 more in March. And we also have our own internal event called skipmun. We recently had our first one in last year, October, and we plan to have our next one this year, January. So we're very excited for that, and it's very beginner friendly, and it's for our club members that are first starting out, and maybe they haven't been to an actual MUN conference, so this is a great way to get them started and get a hands-on experience on what MUN actually is. And obviously, our club has gotten a lot of success from our club members as they've gone to these events and received a lot of awards, such as honorable mention or best delegates. And we are all very proud of them because we have prepared them in order to go to these actual conferences and face other schools as well. Now we will do a simulation of a moderated caucus, which is a formal debate within delegates in the International Labor Organization. Please enjoy. Delegates Committee is now in session. We are your chairs for the International Labor Organization. And we will first commence with roll call. We will begin in alphabetical order. Once your country is called, please state present or present in voting.
Right. Delegate of Canada.
Present in voting.
Delegate of China.
Present in voting.
Delegate of Ecuador.
Present.
Delegate of France.
Present in voting.
Delegate of India.
Present in voting.
And Delegate of Vietnam.
Present.
All right, delegates, seeing that all delegates are present, we will now move on to motions. The floor is open to motions as of right now. Are there any such on the floor? Delegate of France, Delegate of Ecuador, and Delegate of Vietnam in that order.
Motion for 5-minute consultation of the whole.
Delegate of Ecuador,
Motion for a 30-minute unmoderated caucus.
Delegate of Vietnam,
Motion for a 6-minute moderated caucus on the topic of child labor in Asia with a speaker time of 1 minute.
All right, delegates, we will move on to voting from the most destructive to the least destructive motion, beginning with the delegate of Ecuador's motion for a 30-minute unmoderated caucus. All delegates that are in favor of this motion, please raise your placards now. All delegates against? Seeing that this motion clearly does not pass, we will move on to the second most destructive motion proposed by the delegate of Vietnam for a 6-minute moderated caucus on the topic of child labor in Asia with 1 minute speaker time. All delegates that are in favor of this motion, please raise your placards now. All delegates against? Seeing that this motion has clearly passed, we will move on to the delegate of Vietnam's moderated caucus. Would the delegate like to begin first or last with their speech?
Last.
All right, delegates. Are there any other delegates that would like to be added to the speakers list? delegate of China, and delegate of Vietnam in that order. You both have 1 minute. The gavel will bang once at 30 seconds and twice at 1 minute once your time has elapsed. You may begin when you're ready.
Honorable chairs, esteemed delegates, and distinguished guests. The delegate of China would like to firstly declare that China has no such thing as child labor since it is illegal, and all of the information that are being proposed to the media are all propagandas created by the anti-China country. Despite this, China would be happy to solve this issue since the delegate believed that no Syrian should encounter such horrible thing like this. The delegate of China would like to propose the idea of discriminating against all kinds of child labor by enhancing the already existing policies. The persistence of child labor is not an easy problem to tackle, meaning that all nations must come together and unite and tackle this problem. The delegate of China yields the floor back to the chair.
Right. The delegate of China, are you open to any POIs?
Any and all.
Are there any such POIs on the floor? Delegate of France and then delegate of Canada in that order.
The delegate of France would like to ask the delegate of China, Julia, that according to multiple intelligence, child labor does exist in China. The ILO and the UNICEF does say that it exists in China. So the delegate would like to ask that if the delegate of China is willing to admit that child labor does exist in China, and if so, the international community is willing to cooperate with the delegate of China to help get rid of the problem of child labor from the country.
The delegate of China will thank the delegate of France for the insightful POIs and would like to respond to the chair that all of the information that claim that China has child labor has already been ratified by China and proven wrong. However, despite this, China is still happy to solve this problem with international countries.
Right. Is the delegate of France satisfied with the delegate of China's answer?
The delegate is satisfied.
Now we'll be moving on to the delegate of Canada's POI. The delegate of Canada, you have been recognized.
The delegate of Canada would like to ask the delegate of China through the chair to give some example on what the delegate would do to discriminate against the use of child labor.
The delegate of China would like to thank the delegate of Canada for the insightful POIs and would like to respond to the chair that some of the improvements the delegate of China would do is enhancing the already existing policies and make punishment harder. For example, those who caught being involved in child labor would pay twice the minimum fine.
Is the delegate of Canada satisfied?
The delegate is satisfied.
As there are no more POIs on the floor, we will now be moving on to the delegate of Vietnam's speech.
The delegate would like to ask, for what reason does this issue have to persist? For what reasons do the children have to suffer? Vietnam's government is aware of the issue of child labor abuse in Vietnam and is using its resources to help these children. However, such acts are complicated by not just local affairs, but also foreign, which is why the delegate of Vietnam strongly proposes collaboration with other countries to create measures that mitigate the use of child labor by both local and foreign firms. The delegate yields the floor back to the chair.
All right, thank you, delegate. Is the delegate open to POIs?
The delegate is open to one POI.
All right, the delegate is open to one set POI. Are there any such on the floor? Delegate of Ecuador, you're recognized.
The delegate of Ecuador would like to ask the delegate of Vietnam to share that what are some of the policies or measures that the government of Vietnam has taken to combat child labor and how would those policies be effective?
The delegate would like to respond to the delegate of Ecuador through the chair that a past policy from Vietnam's government is a national program on the prevention and reduction of child labor in collaboration with the International Labour Organization, where this program aims to prevent and detect child labor, provide interventive assistance, and also spread awareness on this issue.
Is the delegate satisfied?
Delegate of Ecuador is satisfied.
All right, delegates, you may have a seat. Seeing that moderated caucus has now elapsed, the chairs will now have to adjourn this meeting, so this committee is now dismissed. Alright, so I hope that gave everyone a good insight into what our club does and what actually happens in formal debates in actual MUN conferences. So not only does this enhance the public speaking skills of a student attending these conferences, it also enhances their confidence, their negotiation skills, and their drafting skills. So me myself as an individual that has joined this club for 3 consecutive years, I have gained so much more confidence and I have made so many lifelong connections with the people that I meet from various different schools, various different countries, and various different cultures. So when you go to these conferences, you get to learn about the people that you meet, and who knows, you might even have these connections that will be useful for your career later on. Thank you so much. ขอบคุณค่ะ